Alright, number 1, okay, with our inequality, 5n is greater than 10. So when I do this question, notice 5 bars, 10 positive counters. So I group them up. 1x is greater than 2. So you can use x or n, whatever. When they say check, use a sample number that would work. So 6 is greater than 2. If I plug in 6, 6 works. 5 times 6 is 30, which is greater than 10. Over here, the big difference is I don't have 3 x bars. There's only 1 x and a positive 3. To get rid of positive 3, I put a negative 3. So negative 3 here, I add negative 3 here as well. So what I'm doing is this exact same amount right here is also going over here. So kind of think about why that's there. Nothing cancels here, so I get x is less than or equal to negative 11. Plug in a number like negative 20, it stays true.
Do you have to write sample answer?
No. I just plugged in a sample answer. Yes?
You didn't add at the very end, you didn't put the 3 extra dots. You didn't add the one in the model.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, thank you. 9, 10, 11, thank you. They should all be negative, so thank you for finding them. So I should have a negative 11 at the very end. Okay, better? Okay. Alright, bottom part, or next section. Over here, subtract, or I'm sorry, if it's n minus 5, the inverse is 2, add 5 to both sides. N is greater than or equal to negative 6. I plugged in a number that would work. So I plugged in this case I plugged in negative, or I plugged in another number. Okay? Over here I'm showing that negative 11 plus positive 5 is a negative 6. Okay? So close circle on 6, shade to the right. So I plug in negative 1 is greater than negative 6. 0 is greater than negative 6. Over here, inverse of addition is subtraction. Negative 4 minus 8, add the opposite. Don't forget we add the opposite for our integer rules. So I add 2 negatives, add like normal. We get m, or negative 12 is greater than or equal to m. Or if you want to flip the whole thing, both of these are okay. Right? These both tell me the same thing. So close circle on negative 12, shade to the left. Inverse of dividing by 3 is multiplying both sides by 3. Open circle, shade to the left. Reminder, it needs to be obvious that I know what your answer is. If I can't tell what your answer is, no credit. Alright, can't read, no credit. Number 6, I need to flip, right? Anytime we divide or multiply by a negative number, we need to flip the sign. So divide both sides by negative 9, we flip it, W is greater than 11, close circle, shade to the right. Okay?
On the test, are the number lines?
The number lines will be blank. So it doesn't matter what numbers you use. So if you want to use different numbers, that's fine. As long as, for example, close circle on 11, shaded to the right. Okay, rocking and rolling. Number 7, okay, 2 steps. Subtract 9 from both sides. 3x is greater than or equal to negative 30. Divide by 3. Don't flip. Okay, over here we don't flip. The reason we don't flip is because I'm dividing by a positive, right? So since it's dividing by a positive, we keep it the same way. So close circle on negative 10, shade to the right.
Wait, for number 9 is 8.
I'm not there yet. Number 8, subtract 1.2 from both sides. I get 24. 24 is less than negative 1 and 5/10 y. Divide by negative 1 and 5/10. Remember, second number must be a whole number. When I do the division, I get negative 16. Positive divided by negative is a positive. Remember on your test, your integer rules are wrong, answer's wrong. Open circle, shade to the left. Over here, notice I got to do distributive property before I work through it. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4, and the subtraction sign. That is less than or equal to negative 9. Same routine. Now over here, if I did 5 divided by 6, some of y'all might have got a decimal with them. That's okay. If you got a decimal with that, if you did 5 divided by 6, you would have gotten about 0.83 repeated. So you could have done it that way and still close circle, shade to the left. I went ahead and used these as fractions. Both of them are okay. If you use 0.8, that's okay. Negative 0.8, as long as it's a closed circle, shade to the left, I'm okay.
So after I did that decimal, I rounded and I got 0.80, and I did it as a fraction.
fraction and
That's okay. Just keep in mind, I'd rather you keep it as a fraction in this case, but it's okay. Same thing here. I got to distribute before I start solving. 1/4 of 8 is 2. 1/4 of 12 is 3. Remember, if I do 1/4 times 8, that's like 8 over 1. Don't remember how to multiply fractions? Go back and look. Okay, there's videos online, notes in Schoology, so on and so on. Okay, bottom part. Jeremy liked to buy a new skateboard that costs no more than $95. That means the maximum amount is $95. So far, he saved $40. He needs to save some more money. So I'm missing how much money he needs to earn. If you don't do this and you don't know how to do the problem, I can't help you. You got to do what you know, what you don't know every single time. So I take $40 plus x, or x plus 40 is less than or equal to 95. Do the math. X is greater than or equal to 55. You get 5 points for that inequality, 5 points for the answer. So make sure you understand how to set it up. Do the what you know, what you don't know. You don't do that, then yeah, it's going to be difficult. So make sure you're taking care of it. Number 12, Amar needs at least $84. So she can make more than 84 or exactly 84. He makes $7 an hour. I don't know how many hours that he needs to work. So I'm going to take my number of hours times 7, because it's $7 each hour, and that's greater than or equal to 84. I solve it. X is greater than or equal to 12. So you need it to work at least 12 hours. Number 13, to cover the rectangular area of her backyard, she needs a minimum of 187 square feet. So the length I know is 17. I don't know the width. I want a minimum of 187. So I can have 187 exactly, or 188, or 189, or 190, so on and so on. So 17x, because length times width is my area, is greater than or equal to 187. Divide both sides by 17. I get x is greater than or equal to 11. Question? Okay, rocking and rolling. Remember, if you have to copy the answers, that's going to be on Schoology. You want me to re-explain it? That's there on Schoology also. Okay, the other side. Victoria has to pick up some cases of Girl Scout cookies to sell for her troop. I know that she sold 5.5 boxes. I know she has at least 3.5 left, so she could have exactly or more than 3.5. Now, if you want to use the fractions, you can, or I use decimals. Up to you. What I don't know is how many cases, a number of cases, and I'm going to put that I started. So since I don't know what I started with, I take my starting number, sell 5.5, so minus 5.5 is greater than or equal to 3.5. I use my decimals. I need to sell at least 9 boxes. Number 15, how many inequalities are true when you plug in -4? So you plug in -4 and see what works. For example, I went ahead and solved it. You could have plugged in -4 and then saw if it worked. If I solved it, -4, is that greater than -3? No. When I solve this, remember I flip it because I'm multiplying by -6. If I plug in -4, is -4 greater than -3? No. Again, greater than or equal to? No. 10 plus 2 gets me 12. 12x is less than or equal to 36. X is less than or equal to 3. -4 is less than or equal to 3. That's true. Over here, I have to add 4.5 to both sides. Remember, with negative numbers, negative and the positive, you add them up, I need to subtract the 2. We get 3 and 0.5, so just 3 by itself. X is greater than or equal to 3. That's not true. The only one I know that is true is just this one right here. Only one is true. Questions? Yes?
So, for number 15, what 2 is true in the first one and the last one?
Okay, let's plug in -4. If I do -4 divided by -6.
I mean the third one and the last one.
Okay, so this last one, did you solve it?
Yes.
So if I add 4.5 to a -7.5, I get +3. Is this what you got? If not, that's probably where we messed up. Okay. Alright, 16. You had to choose which ones were equivalent. Anytime a number is right next to the parentheses, I distribute. 3 times 2 is 6x. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 2 is 6x plus 6. These two are not the same. Distribute. Combine like terms. So I put each one after I combine and do my like terms. Alrighty, so with this question number 16, again, making sure you're doing your properties, distributing correctly, combine like terms where you can, and then I compared each one, and only these two were the same. Alright, so next one, number 17. Number 17, we have to combine like terms as well. So with 17, I do 3 times negative 2, 3 times 6, 3 times negative 9. I get negative 6, 18, negative 27, and then plus 14. I did my shapes to combine like terms, so I combine negative 6 with negative 27 to get negative 33x. 18 plus 14 to get 32. Over here, same thing with distributive property. Now, a reminder that you're doing 1/4 times 8 over 1. All right, you're doing 1/4 times 12 over 1. 8 times 1 is 8. If I work that through, that's 8 over 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2x. Over here, 1/4 of 12 is 3, minus 6x plus 3. Combine your like terms, you get 6. 2x and negative 6 gives me negative 4x. All right, the bottom part. Now, inverse of multiplying by 1/3 is divide both sides by 1/3. Now, if I do 8.6 divided by 1/3, you can even do it as a fraction. Excuse me. If you wanted to do 8 6/10 divided by 1/3, you'll get the exact same answer as we're doing. Remember, change it to multiplication, do the reciprocal of the second number. I get 25 and 8/10. So when I do 25 and 8/10, if you did it as a fraction, you would have got somewhere about 25 and 4/5. Okay. Now I did it using fractions with my division, but it's up to you which way you want to do it. This is a review of multiplying and dividing by fractions. So all of this is just review of your other rational number rules. Over here, again, I wanted you to change it to negative 0.4x is equal to 28 and then work through it. So I want to get x by itself, divide both sides by negative 0.4. Second number must be a whole number. So I move it 1 time here, 1 time here, 280 divided by 4. I get that it will be 7. Different signs, answer is negative. Okay, 21. So when I look at number 21, I want to make sure that I have a good understanding of what they're asking for. You will see this one on your test, okay, just as a warning. It says the length of a rectangle is twice the width. So the length is equal to 2 times whatever the width is. The length of the rectangle is 12 centimeters. So now I can replace this length with the 12 that they gave me. Write an equation to find the width of the rectangle. This equation will help you get it. 12 equals 2w, or 2w equals 12, same thing. So I divide both sides by 2. I get w is equal to 6. Then it says, then find the area. So area is length times width, so I know my length is 12, width is 6, 12 times 6, 72. Again, you will see a question extremely like that on your test, so make sure you're doing what you need to. Number 22, 3 times the value of n plus 8 is 32. That's what my equation is asking me to do. Solve it, subtract 8 from both sides, 3n is equal to 24. Divide by 3, n is equal to 8. Number 23, an ice cream shop charges a flat fee of $3. Each topping is 50 cents. I paid a total of $5.50. How many toppings? Well, it's 50 cents times x, because it's 50 cents per topping, plus the 3 equals $5.50. Remember, you could also do 50x plus 3 is equal to 550. Up to you. You'll get the same answer. X is equal to 5. Remember, when I divide, second number must be a whole number. So I move it 2 times, move it 2 times. So I get my answer is 5. Number 24 is just like the one that we saw on our last test. This entire angle going from here all the way to this side is equal to 180 degrees. So if I take 5x plus 4, you don't have to worry about the parentheses anymore, plus x minus 2, plus 3x plus 7. Adding all 3 of these angles should equal 180. So then I just combine like terms. Combine your like terms, you get 9x plus 9. It's a plus. 9 is equal to 180. Subtract 9 on both sides. 9x is equal to 171. Divide both sides by 9. I get x is equal to 19. This is just like on our test when we had the one about the right angle, right? We have the same kind of question where it's a right angle, add two angles, add up to equal 90 degrees, and we solve it. So same thing, expect this on your test. Remember, if you didn't have time to write down any answers, this will be on Schoology for you to write down, as well as the video to go over one more time if needed. All right, good luck.